Welcome back to another episode of Everyday Nuggets. Today, we're exploring something you've probably held in your hand thousands of times without giving it a second thought. The humble soda can tab with its distinctive hole. The aluminum beverage can has been a part of our daily lives for decades. Still, it wasn't always the convenient, safe container we know today. Before we get to the hole in the tab, we need to understand how we got the tab in the first place. In the early days of canned beverages, opening a drink required a separate tool called a church key. You'd have to puncture two triangular holes in the top of the can, one for drinking and one for airflow. This method was cumbersome and created hazardous sharp edges. The first real breakthrough came in 1959 when Ermal Fraze invented the pull tab. Legend has it that while on a family picnic, he forgot the church key and had to open a can using a car bumper. Frustrated by this experience, he developed the first pull-off tab. This invention revolutionized the industry, but it created a new problem: environmental pollution and safety hazards from discarded tabs. By the early 1970s, these concerns led to the development of the Stay-On tab by Daniel Cudzik of Reynolds Metals Company. Cudzik began working on the design in 1971, filed his patent application in 1974, and though the patent wasn't granted until 1976, the design was first commercially introduced on Falls City beer in late 1975. This innovation, which we still use today, keeps the tab attached to the can after opening, reducing litter and injury risks. But what about that hole in the tab itself? You may assume the hole in the tab is just a design choice or a way to save aluminum. But like many seemingly simple features, it serves several essential functions. First and most practically, the hole reduces the amount of aluminum needed to make each tab. When you're producing billions of cans annually, even small material savings translate to significant economic and environmental benefits. The beverage industry produced approximately 120 billion cans in 2020, with projections to reach 173 billion by 2030. So that small hole represents thousands of tons of aluminum saved annually. The hole also creates a more controlled bending point for the tab, making it easier to open the can. This mechanical advantage is something you've benefited from without realizing it. The physics of the design is truly ingenious. As one source explains, when you first press down, it is a second-class lever. Once you break that seal and air starts venting, it becomes a first-class lever. This transformation is what makes the design so efficient. Without it, the tab would need to be much larger and more expensive to overcome the can's internal pressure. The modern Stay-On tab represents a remarkable balance of engineering constraints. It needs to be strong enough to stay intact during shipping and handling, yet easy enough for anyone to open. The hole contributes to this balance by making the tab more flexible where it needs to be, while maintaining structural integrity. There's also the issue of safety. The tab's design, including the hole, helps prevent the tab from falling into the can when opened. This addresses a concern that became evident with earlier designs: the risk of accidentally swallowing tabs that had dropped into the beverage. What's fascinating is how this tiny feature must satisfy multiple competing requirements: material efficiency, manufacturing needs, user experience, and safety concerns. The hole in your soda can tab is a perfect example of how engineering solutions often need to solve several problems simultaneously. In the next part of our exploration, we'll look at some alternative theories about the tab's hole, examine how the can tab fits into the broader context of packaging innovation, and consider how this seemingly insignificant design element reflects larger technological and cultural trends. Now that we understand the historical development and engineering brilliance of the Stay tab, let's explore why this seemingly minor design element has remained relatively unchanged for nearly half a century. Ergonomically, the hole offers a place for your finger to engage with the tab, making it easier to lift and pull. This seemingly minor detail significantly improves the user experience, allowing for consistent, one-handed operation across various hand sizes and strengths. Some have suggested the hole serves as a straw holder, but this is more of a folk innovation than an intentional design. While many people use it this way, manufacturers don't officially endorse this function, possibly for liability reasons related to the sharp aluminum edges. Total global can production in 2024 was projected at 627 billion units. If laid end-to-end, these cans would wrap around the Earth thousands of times. Each of these cans features the iconic stay tab design with its characteristic hole. The environmental impact of this design shouldn't be understated. By keeping tabs attached to cans, the stay tab design has prevented countless tons of aluminum litter. Additionally, the modern aluminum can is 100% recyclable, and recycling aluminum requires only 5% of the energy needed to produce new aluminum. The lightweight, durable stay tab contributes to this recyclability without compromising function. Beyond its practical applications, the stay tab has achieved something few industrial designs ever do. It has become a cultural icon. The distinctive shape is instantly recognizable worldwide, transcending language and cultural barriers. It appears in art, jewelry, and fashion, divorced from its utilitarian origins. Many people collect pull tabs for charity initiatives, adding a social dimension to this everyday object. Some programs claim to convert collected tabs into funding for charitable causes, like the Ronald McDonald House. However, it's worth noting that the entire can is valuable for recycling, not just the tab. The tab's design is so ingrained in our collective consciousness that attempts to change it often face resistance. Various companies have tried alternative opening mechanisms, but consumers consistently return to the familiar stay tab design. This speaks to a broader principle in design. Sometimes, the first solution that adequately addresses all constraints becomes so entrenched that it's difficult to displace, even with potentially superior alternatives. The QWERTY keyboard layout is another famous example of this phenomenon. In our increasingly digital world, the physical interaction of popping open a can remains a satisfying, tangible experience. The distinctive click-fizz sound of a stay tab being pulled and the can opening is universally recognized. It even evokes Pavlovian responses of refreshment and satisfaction. So next time you pop open a cold beverage, take a moment to appreciate this small marvel of engineering that has stood the test of time. The humble stay tab with its distinctive hole, a perfect example of how thoughtful design can solve problems so effectively that it becomes invisible in its ubiquity. Thank you for watching another episode of Everyday Nuggets. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe for more videos. If you have suggestions for other everyday objects you'd like to learn about, please leave them in the comments below. Stay curious!